Hi everyone, I'm Noreen and welcome to my kitchen and another episode of What's for Dinner. Tonight we're going to make this recipe that is perfectly suited for freezer banking. Make one and freeze one. We're going to make this pepperoni rigatoni bake. It's a little spin on a baked rigatoni or a baked ziti or even a lasagna. All those flavors all mashed up into one delicious casserole. You're going to love it. Let's go see how we make it. Okay, we're going to go over all the ingredients and then we're going to start putting together this pepperoni rigatoni bake. This is really very similar to what you might know as baked ziti, but we're going to use rigatoni, which has a larger, it's a larger noodle and it has ridges in it. I love rigatoni because it's nice, it holds the sauce, and it's really nice in this particular dish. We're going to add a little pepperoni to it for some spice and some deliciousness, but to get started you're going to need to make your meat sauce. So what I have is a pound each of ground beef, this is grass-fed ground beef, and ground pork that I get from a local source. I also have a pound of cremini mushrooms that are sliced. And we're going to also put in some chopped onion. I have about 1 medium chopped onion here, 4 cloves of chopped garlic, and we're going to add some Italian seasoning in there. I have to refill my bottle. Then we're going to add, I have 1 large jar. This is a 45-ounce jar of pasta sauce. You use whatever is your favorite. And this is what we're going to build our meat sauce with because this is what I have on hand. And what?
It was on sale.
It was on sale. If you want to make yours from scratch, you go right ahead and make yours from scratch. We're going to make the cheese filling. I have about a pound of ricotta cheese. This I made myself, homemade. So a pound of ricotta, a couple of eggs. We're going to add some mozzarella cheese in there, a little bit of seasoning, salt and pepper, and then we're going to go from there. When we're all finished, we're going to layer it up together with the meat sauce, the cheese mixture. We're going to put some pepperoni and it's going to be delicious. This recipe is actually going to make 2 entire casseroles. One I'm going to bake off tonight, one I'm going to stick in the freezer, because whenever you make something like this, it's always a great idea to freezer bank. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll meet you back over at the stove. Alright, so I have about a tablespoon of olive oil heating in my pan. That is only for flavor and a little bit of non-stick-to-itness. That's okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the meat in. I'm going to go ahead and brown it off, and I'll bring it back when it's time to add all the flavors and the onions and the garlic. Okay, we're at the point now where I've been breaking up my meat. When I'm making my meat sauce for baked rigatoni or lasagna or something, I like the meat to be a bit finer. Okay, now we're going to add our veggies. So I'm going to add in the garlic and the onion.
You don't think you're getting a big fight?
No. Give these a stir. The meat that I cooked up was not that high in fat. I just have a little bit in the bottom of the pan, including that little bit of olive oil that I used. And that's going to be just enough to get in here with all of these veggies. And I'm going to put the mushrooms in there as well. I'm just going to saute this for a few more minutes until the mushrooms give up all their water and everybody is tender and soft. And then we're going to add our sauce. I'll be back when it's time to do that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and mix up our cheese filling. What I have here is a pound of ricotta cheese. Now I made this myself. You don't have to feel like you need to make your own. But it's really easy if you want to, and I have a couple of videos on different ways that you can do that. So I'm going to add a couple of eggs in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add about a cup of mozzarella, shredded mozzarella. And some seasonings. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of dried basil. And we're just going to reinforce this flavors we already have. There's a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm not going to add salt because I already added salt when I made the cheese, so that's probably enough salt going on in there. So we're going to set that aside. We're going to wait for the meat mixture to finish up and we're going to make the sauce, and then we're going to come back I've got a pot on the stove. We're going to boil up that rigatoni. And we're going to come back and we're going to assemble our pepperoni rigatoni bakes. Alright, our vegetables have given up all of their flavor and their water, and the mushrooms have softened up, and so have the onions and the garlic. This is ready to proceed. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the sauce. And now we're just going to simmer this for about 10 minutes. Alright, everything is ready to start putting things together. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've drained. My pasta is ready to go. I rinsed my pot out with cold water so that the pot is no longer warm or hot in any way, because I want to reuse the pot because I don't want to get out another bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and put my cheese mixture in here. And while the pasta was cooking, I took about 2 cups of my sauce mixture out of the pan. And I wanted to do this so that it would cool just a little bit. We're going to mix this together with the cheese mixture. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the rigatoni back into the pot. And the reason I like the rigatoni is because it gets all the channels in the pasta get full of this cheese mixture. And it's just delicious. And now, just for ease, instead of the traditional layering of this dish, I'm just going to go ahead and take this reserved pepperoni and I'm just going to toss, that's a 6-ounce package of sliced pepperoni, and I'm just going to add it right on in there and distribute it as evenly as possible. Alright, I have divided my pasta into 2 foil pans. Now I'm just going to evenly distribute the sauce on top of these 2 pans of pasta. And try and get as even as possible, but cover up the tops. And then we're going to use, I would say, about 2 cups of cheese, just evenly sprinkled over top. And that's that. Our pepperoni rigatoni pasta bakes are ready to go. One I'm going to put in the oven. One I'm going to wrap up. What I'll do is I'll wrap up one to go in the oven first. I'm going to set this aside and then we'll deal with that in a minute. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. Okay, I'm just going to cover this with some foil. 30 to 45 minutes. So let's pop that in the oven. We'll see that in 30 to 45 minutes. Alright, now let's wrap this one up in preparation for the freezer. So all I've got is another half, I took a piece of parchment, so parchment paper, aluminum foil, but before you put your aluminum foil on there, go ahead and write on it. Okay? Pepperoni rigatoni bake from frozen, 375 oven, 60 to 75 minutes. When I use a single layer of aluminum foil, I like to take one of these 2-gallon hefty bags, get this in there, zip it up. I'm going to put this on a tray and stick it in my freezer. When it's frozen solid, I'm going to transfer it out to my deep freeze, and then we'll have another meal freezer banked and ready to go. I'm not going to have to work again to make this the next time we want it. Freezer banking is awesome and amazing, and you all should be doing it, because freezer banking helps you maintain your sanity, and it helps you use things that are on sale, it helps you stretch your dollar, and it helps you make your family happy. So this is how I prepare the casserole to go in the freezer, and that's what I'm going to do next. And next time you see me, we're going to be pulling this pepperoni rigatoni bake out of the oven and fixing you a plate. Alright, I just took this bad boy out of the oven and it is bubbly and hot. I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes and then I'm going to dip into it. I'm going to fix you a plate of pepperoni rigatoni bake. So I'll be right back. You have it. Fresh off the oven, pepperoni rigatoni bake. This is really nice. It was beautiful and bubbly when it came out of the oven. It smelled delicious while it was baking. And it's got all those wonderful things that we put in there. There's that beautiful rigatoni. I love rigatoni. I know it's one of Micah's favorites as well. It's not super hot. We've let it sit for about 10 minutes here. Do you want to taste it?
Okay.
Good? It's hot though, huh? Oh. I'm enjoying this with that zuccardi Bernarda. There's our pepperoni rigatoni bake. We're going to go enjoy this for dinner. I hope you try it. I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya. For joining me in my kitchen today. I hope you liked what you watched today, and I hope that you try it, and I hope that you love it. If you like what you saw, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and giving me a positive rating. And also, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're already not a subscriber so that you don't miss out on any of the fun we have here in our kitchen every single day. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to come by tomorrow. Until next time.